the largest seizure of Europe-bound heroin in decades. Iran's police recovered 2 tons of Class A drugs on New Year's Eve on the country's border with Afghanistan. The culmination of a 2-month investigation, Iran's anti-narcotics police chief says the Class A drugs are worth millions of dollars in the European market.
The police found out that on New Year's Eve, an international network was planning to transit 2 tons of heroin to Europe through Iran. Because of our religious duties and international commitment, we stopped a convoy on the Afghan border. Many agencies were involved in the investigation. We arrested the traffickers, including several people on the western border. They were waiting to transfer the drugs to Europe.
The police chief says Iran's anti-narcotics police are committed to tackling serious and organized crime, which has an impact on the international community. He says the police will continue to make Iran's borders with Afghanistan and Pakistan the main supply and transit routes to Europe as hostile an environment as possible for those involved in the sale, transit or supply of controlled drugs.
Iran's police chiefs, military commanders and officials are urging the European governments not to politicize the war on drugs. This policy will only make the situation worse in their own countries, where people will pay the ultimate price. Sadly enough, Iran is fighting a lonely battle against drugs because some European countries have politicized the issue.
Iran, as the first link in the long and lucrative smuggling chain, has for decades fought a lonely battle against drugs along its volatile southeast, where its border meets those of Afghanistan and Pakistan. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, despite the high human costs, Iran is now netting 8 times more opium and 3 times more heroin than all the other countries in the world combined. Iran spends billions of dollars and has lost thousands of its police and security forces in the war against drugs and traffickers. The country also makes more than 80% of the world's total opium seizures. Qamar Nodiri, Press TV, Tehran.